What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I got these in the mail today and I know everyone, they just announced it, I think yesterday, so I'm excited, but it is the Urban Decay Distortion eyeshadow palette. It immediately caught my eye because 5 of the 15 colors are duochrome colors. You guys know duochromes are my lifeblood. My favorite thing ever. And they have been for a very long time. They have these colors that have this white base shift into a different shade. They have so many, they're so multi-purpose and so fun that they really need more love. And so I'm excited to see them coming out into the universe. I know earlier this year, Kat Von D came out with the Alchemist palette, which was all duochrome shades. Personally, I did not love that palette. I felt like the duochrome aspect in it was really toned down and it made me kind of sad, especially because I think that she said that she spent 7 years developing it. It just felt like they didn't really have a lot of pigmentation. The duochrome aspect really was quite dull compared to other things I've seen. But before I give you my whole thoughts and all of that jazz, let's talk about the palette and all the colors here. It's almost like a mini Vice palette mixed with the duochrome shades. And the duochrome shades, if you've never used duochromes, you can kind of look at them and not really understand what to do, how to use them. And so the way that they market them in this palette is that you have 10 eyeshadows that are your traditional type of eyeshadows. Some of them are more shimmery, metallic, some of them are matte. And the idea is that you can layer the duochrome color over top to shift the base color and to change the way it looks. For the swatches that I have today, I'm going to be showing you the duochromes over a white base and a black base so you can kind of get an idea of how much more amped up they can be over a colored base. And then I'm going to show you the 10 other eyeshadow colors and then layer one of the duochromes over top of it so you can see how it sort of shifts and changes how the color looks. So let's talk about the duochromes first. You get 5 of them here. First shade is called Bleach, and this is a white base with a golden yellow shift. You can see on top of the black it really comes out. So the darker the color is that you put a duochrome over, the more the iridescence shift is going to show through. The next shade is called Shifty. This is a white base with a green shift, has a lot of bright, gorgeous, beautiful neon greens that come through. And then you get Space, which is a white shade with a blue shift. It's very bright. Again, look at it on the black. You can see it a lot more pigmented than on top of a lighter base. Next is Mind Game. Mind Game is a purpley pink, definitely more purple, vibrant purple tones, but it does also kind of favor the pink tones as well. And then you have Blur. Blur is a peachy, orangey duochrome. All of these are super gorgeous. I think that they're cool. I think that it's really neat the way that they designed this palette, and I like that they're here. I'm just glad they're here. Let's get into the regular eyeshadows here. The first shade on the second row is called First Offense. This is probably my favorite color in this palette. It's what's on my eyes right now, and it's just this gorgeous bronzy orange with a little bit of golden shimmer thrown in. It's got amazing pigmentation. It blends like a dream, and it is just beautiful. I love orangey shades. I feel like while we keep getting all these warm palettes, you don't see a nice, just gorgeous orange like this, like sunsetty orange. Next we have Hotbox. Hotbox is a beautiful forest green, and it has a little bit of a duochrome in it on its own. It's got a green duochrome. It almost looks like they put that green Shifty duochrome inside of this eyeshadow, but of course if you layer Shifty on top of it, it's just going to amplify that. Next you have 5.0, which is, it looks beautiful in the palette. It's a bright blue with a blue shift in it, but when you swatch it, it's quite sheer. I was pretty disappointed with this, and I was wishing it had a lot more pigmentation. Next is Rogue. Rogue kind of looks like the everyday Urban Decay purple that you expect to find in an Urban Decay palette. And this one also was not super duper pigmented, but the interesting thing I'm finding about this palette is that all of these colors seem, or at least most of them, seem to have a duochrome shift in them, and then you can just layer the top row of duochromes to just amplify it even more, because all of the colors that I've swatched so far have that shift in them. Then we have Trash Talk. Trash Talk is a pink that has a pink shimmer to it. Again, pigmentation, it's okay. So then for this next part, I took each of the duochromes that were right above it. That first offense being that orange is gonna work well with the yellow. Hot Box is green, Shifty is green. Of course, you can mix this up however you like, but these are going to be what is most, what's the word I'm looking for? Appealing, that's it. So you can see how the duochrome just layered on top gives it just a little bit more of that shimmery duochrome. It gives it a little brightness, and it's a cool way to easily just change up your look. For example, what's on my eyes right now, I have First Defense, which is the orange, and then I took bleach, the yellow duochrome, and just popped it in the center with my finger, and you could see it's like the halo eye where it kind of has that the gradient effect in the center. Let's talk about the bottom row now. First color is called Territorial. Territorial is a bronzy brown. Actually, when I swatch it, it's much more copper, and it has the shimmer in it. The metallicness definitely shows through more than the base color. It's a lot brighter and very metallic. The next color is Blackout, which is, I believe, the only matte in this palette. I was hoping that this was going to be a lot more pigmented than it is, but it is definitely a black eyeshadow that needs a lot of TLC. Just swatching it straight out, I found that it was really powdery, had a lot of fallout, and didn't really stick onto my skin. I used Tarte Shape Tape as a base here, just to make sure that everything was pretty much the same way that it would look when I used it on my eyes, because I always use some sort of eyeshadow base. So I feel like this color is one where you'll have to kind of just like take your time with it, and it just, even when I just swatched it, it looks patchy. I feel like there's better options out there. Old Smoke is a gray, kind of a cement gray with a silvery sparkle to it. It's got a nice sheen, but it definitely doesn't have that metallic shimmeriness that a lot of the other colors here have. Shag is the next shade, and I think that this may be, I said that First Offense was my favorite color here, but Shag is definitely up there as well because it's quite unique. It's got this almost silvery lavender undertone with this beautiful silvery sparkle in it, and when you move it in the light, you can see it kind of turns to this a lavender shade, and then it shifts into a purple, and then it shifts into that silver, and it's just stunning. That is a really unique shade, one of the most unique colors I've seen Urban Decay come out with in a very long time, so that one is my favorite color here. The last shade is Velvet. Velvet is kind of a cranberry with some, it has a little bit of a sparkle to it, and it has sort of a lighter pink duochrome overtone to it. Here is a look at all of those colors with the different duochromes. Over top of them, I used the same ones that are in the same columns, right? Those are columns, or are they rows? I don't know. They're in the same ones, so you can kind of see, because again, they sort of go together. So in conclusion, I'm excited that this palette has duochromes. I'm excited to see Urban Decay come out with them. I like how they're marketing it. I think that it's really cool that they're showing, you know, hey, you can use this over top of regular colors here and totally transform the look, because that's how I like to use them. I think it's also worth noting that while these are marketed to be used over the eyeshadows in this palette, don't let that limit you. For my eyeshadow look that I'm going to show you at the end of this video, or a tutorial on it, I used bleach, the yellow duochrome, on my eyelid on top of First Defense. I used it as a brow bone highlight. I used it in the tear duct area. I used it as a highlight, and then I mixed Blur, which is the last color, that peachy duochrome. I put a little bit on my cheeks, and then I put it on my lips. So really, you can use these anywhere just to give a little bit extra. You could do a completely neutral, brown, boring look, put a little bit of a white eyeliner right in the inner tear ducts, and then put one of these duochromes on top of that, and it completely changes the way that the whole look is presented. I mean, it totally gives it something that it didn't have, with very minimal effort and without just going balls to the wall with your eyeshadow look. If you're new to duochromes, it'll give you kind of something to play with. If you already have duochrome colors, I don't really know if this palette is worth it. I don't actually know how much it costs because it didn't say it on my PR sheet that came with it, so I guess that plays with it as well. I will say, because I didn't mention this, I like the packaging a lot. It's like holographic. It's got a nice mirror and it doesn't need palette Viagra. Look at that, stays open. Beautiful packaging. Let me know your thoughts if this is something that you're gonna pick up, if you are into duochromes, if you're not, and all I have to say is how dare you, and what gives you the right. I'm just kidding. Let me know why you don't like them because they're my favorite thing ever, and I'll see you next time.